Welcome back to History of Simple Things. Today's topic comes from one of our viewers, Marielle Imapari 9488. Thanks for the suggestion. You asked, is cat dander bad for our lungs? If you've ever owned a cat, you've probably noticed that their fur seems to get everywhere. On your couch, your clothes, and somehow even inside drawers you swear you never opened. But what many people don't realize is that the biggest thing cats leave behind isn't actually their fur. It's something much smaller and almost invisible. It's called cat dander. So, is this microscopic stuff just a harmless part of living with cats? Or can it actually affect our lungs and breathing? Stick around as we uncover the science behind cat dander and its effects on our bodies. Right here on History of Simple Things. Cat dander isn't fur. In fact, it's made up of microscopic flakes of skin that cats naturally shed. Just like humans shed skin cells throughout the day, cats do the same thing, but their skin flakes tend to become airborne more easily. What makes cat dander especially troublesome isn't the skin flakes themselves. The real issue is a protein found in a cat's saliva, skin glands, and urine called FeL-D1. When cats groom themselves, which they do a lot, they spread this protein onto their fur and skin. As the skin flakes off, the protein tags along. These tiny particles are incredibly lightweight, which means they float easily through the air. They can remain suspended for long periods and settle on surfaces all around your home, carpets, bedding, curtains, and furniture. Because they're so small, they can also be inhaled deep into the respiratory system. Not everyone reacts to cat dander the same way. For many people, it causes no noticeable problems at all. But for others, the immune system treats the FeL-D1 protein as if it were a harmful invader. When this happens, the body releases chemicals such as histamine. This triggers classic allergy symptoms: sneezing, a runny nose, itchy eyes, coughing, and sometimes wheezing. For people with allergies, inhaling cat dander can irritate the airways. The body's immune response causes inflammation in the respiratory tract, which can make breathing feel uncomfortable. However, it's important to understand that the reaction isn't because the dander itself is toxic. It's because the immune system is overreacting to a harmless protein. In other words, the problem lies in the body's response, not the substance itself. For most people, breathing in small amounts of cat dander doesn't cause long-term damage to the lungs. Healthy individuals without allergies usually inhale these particles without even noticing them. But the story can be different for people with allergies or respiratory conditions. In sensitive individuals, inhaling cat allergens can cause inflammation in the airways. Over time, repeated exposure may worsen symptoms such as coughing or chest tightness. In people who already have asthma, cat dander can trigger asthma attacks by causing the airways to narrow and swell. Doctors have found that animal allergens, including those from cats, can be a major trigger for allergic asthma. In these cases, exposure doesn't permanently harm the lungs directly, but the ongoing inflammation can make asthma harder to control. So while cat dander itself isn't poisonous or damaging like smoke or pollution, it can still create serious breathing problems for certain people. One of the tricky things about cat allergens is how persistent they are. FeL-D1 particles are extremely sticky and can cling to fabrics, walls, and even dust. They're so lightweight that they can travel on clothing and hair. That means you don't even need to own a cat to encounter cat allergens. Schools, offices, and public transportation often contain small amounts of them because people unknowingly carry them from their homes. Even in houses where cats once lived but no longer do, measurable levels of cat allergen can remain for months. Regular cleaning helps reduce it, but it rarely removes it completely. This persistence explains why people with severe cat allergies can sometimes react even when the animal isn't physically present. For cat owners who are sensitive to dander but still want to keep their pets, there are several ways to reduce exposure. Frequent cleaning can make a noticeable difference. Vacuuming carpets with a HEPA filter vacuum helps trap tiny particles instead of blowing them back into the air. Washing bedding and blankets regularly also removes accumulated allergens. Air purifiers with HEPA filters can capture airborne particles, including dander, and improve indoor air quality. Some people also find relief by designating certain areas, like bedrooms, as cat-free zones. Grooming the cat regularly may help reduce loose fur and skin flakes, although the effect varies. Interestingly, there is no truly hypoallergenic cat breed. Some breeds may produce slightly less FeL-D1 protein, but all cats produce it to some degree. So, is cat dander bad for our lungs? For most people, the answer is no. Cat dander isn't inherently harmful and doesn't damage healthy lungs. Many people live with cats their entire lives without experiencing any respiratory problems. However, for individuals with allergies or asthma, cat dander can trigger symptoms and irritate the airways. In those cases, the immune system's reaction can lead to coughing, wheezing, or breathing discomfort. The key point is that cat dander is mainly an allergen, not a toxin. Its impact depends largely on how a person's immune system responds to it. And despite the sneezing and sniffles it may cause for some, millions of cat lovers around the world still decide that sharing their home with a furry companion is well worth the occasional battle with floating flakes of skin. After all, a little dander might be annoying, but for many people the companionship of a cat easily outweighs the inconvenience. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of simple things. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more stories woven through the smallest details.